Okay. And you're going to run that thing?
Yep.
Or wherever?
Yep.
How we all doing? Mike, you ready for us?
Yes, I'm rolling already.
Are you rolling already? We have a little bit of 5:34. It's going to be light attendance tonight, but still more than I thought we're going to be here. I will say that. You guys always do surprise me. I got to give you points for that.
Is there anything you're going to want to show from here?
Yep, I got the slideshow on there.
All right,
so you're in charge of that.
All right.
Okay. Welcome to Chippewa Valley Indivisible. It's our meeting, the usual, right? You guys know the drill. Let's see. So we're going to blast through some of the beginning of the slideshow, maybe. Maybe. Right, Ann?
Yep. You got it.
Okay. There we go. Hit her back there. Okay. So you guys know the usual. We always start with the mission to defend, protect, preserve, and strengthen our democracy. Let us discuss how very, very freaking hard that is this week. This is a lot of work. I mean, between what the Roberts Court is doing, what the reconciliation bill is doing, what ICE is doing, everything that's going on in this country, it's hard to keep our spirits up, isn't it? We are taking a beating right now. The other night, it made me, even Heather Cox Richardson said, things are going to get rough. We need to watch out for each other. But fortunately, we all already know that, right? We're already planning what we're going to do about that, and we've got some ideas, so you'll hear about it tonight. It's going to be, we got some fun, good stuff. So another friend of mine called me from Tennessee to say she and her wife were thinking about moving to Norway. I know. I'm like, why Norway? She goes, probably because we were just there. I said, oh yeah, that'll do it. And she said, but they had Pride, and they have it for like the whole month, and they have everybody's all dressed up, and there are kids parades and all this stuff. And we're like, wouldn't it be wonderful to live here? She goes, I don't think they'd take us because everybody's trying to get out everywhere. She said, but so, and she said, well, how about you? And I said, well, some days I think about it, but most days I think, hey, nice to see ya. Most days I think I'm waiting through 2026 November. I'm dug in until the next election. All right, you guys, we're going to flip it, right? I doubt I'll ever go anywhere. But until I can see, because look, did you guys see what happened with Mamdani last night?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what were the lessons we got out of that?
Have a plan of what you want.
Have a plan of what you want, speak it
Yep.
clearly. What else? Connect with the people. Go ride the subway. Talk to everyone. Get out and see folks. Good. What else?
Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over.
Don't keep doing the same thing over and over. Quit shoving, candidates down our throat.
The money lost again.
The money lost again. The money lost again. That election scared both Republicans and Democrats. Republicans, because, oh my God, they didn't think that he'd be able to, they want that seat, but also scared Dems for like, oh, right? And we certainly see that here because we have some of the same issues here with wanting,
It wasn't only New York City, though. There was another race in Buffalo, New York.
yeah?
There's another race in Buffalo, New York, where the more progressive candidate who did not have the money and did not have the endorsements won. As well.
I want more information.
I'll find you more.
Okay.
information.
What it says over and over again is the thing we see in this room all the time, which is we want change and we want progressive values. And by that we mean we want to care about each other. We want to make sure our government works for all of us. We're tired of giving everything up to the billionaires. It's just all that same stuff, right? So we're going to keep doing that. So even though all of my friends are calling me up to ask me where I'm moving to, most of the time I just say, I'm dug in, I'm still fighting. And might they do some things to make it difficult? They might. What do we have to do to make sure that they don't? We got to work together and we got to get the numbers. The numbers have to be so massive that they cannot be overwhelmed. We must have huge turnout. And the other thing we need to do, and you guys know this, we need to bring the other folks with us, right? We need allies. We need our Republican friends, right? We need our independent friends. Now, if any of the polling, I sat in a meeting today, the messaging meeting. Anybody who wants to do these, I'll send you the link to them. They're really good, but they were showing polling today, and like everything just keeps shifting. Like they're going, the Republicans are losing, or I want to say it better. The Trump regime keeps losing more and more and more ground. We're in the 67% for disapproval in a lot of things now. So, and the great thing is the independents are really coming with us. The Dems are easy, but the independents are really flying with us now too. So, and I don't know about you, I certainly saw it at the No Kings rally. I certainly saw people coming together, didn't you? And then the other thing, did you guys see us on TV on Friday?
No. Yeah. I'm watching it. What show?
Huh?
What show?
Big Brother. Yeah, no. Survivor? Naked and Afraid? Huh? Yeah, Dancing with the Stars. No, it wasn't that one either. Sorry. No, we were on the evening news, and we were because we had 2 actions on Friday. For those of you that don't know, because I often plan things at the last minute, we had an action for St. Joe's Hospital in Eau Claire. We had 65 people in Chippewa downtown. We had 50 people outside of Mayo. We had all the media there. We got news coverage on WEAU and WQOW. The coverage was good enough that Derek Orden had to respond immediately.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That means it's working. Not only that, for those of you that don't know, on my desktop there used to be, but God only knows where it is now, there was a story in the Eau Claire Leader today, about Aspirus and how what goes on with the budget determines whether we get the hospital. So we are doing the work, and we are hitting them, and it is helping, and people are hearing and speaking and responding. Did you hear about Thune today? I'm coming. I'll come get you. Go ahead.
What did Derek Van Orden have to say? I missed that part.
He didn't vote against it.
And it's not gonna cut Medicaid.
Yeah, it's not gonna. He didn't vote. Yeah, and so I actually did ask for a talking point. And I'll put it in the newsletter, but it's what to say when someone says to you, he didn't cut Medicaid, it's the answer. Okay, I'm like, I need a short, concise, good talking point, and what they said is the Republicans are gonna lie, what they blah, blah, anyway, it's a good one, yeah.
How do we come to terms with what was in the New York Times about even if everybody had turned out to vote, Kamala Harris would have lost? I saw that too.
I don't trust the Times always.
It was the Pew.
Oh, Pew, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
How do I feel about it?
I just kind of wondered because they were talking about how we're losing, the Dems are losing the youth and the undecideds and.
The polling is not matching that. The polling,
I understand that,
but here's what I'm going to say. Okay, the whole thing with Kamala and losing, throughout the entire globe, there was a desire for change, that everybody wanted a change. They were kicking out all of the incumbents in every government, everywhere. So that is part of what I think is real. So, what? Oh. Yeah, and so I think part of what is real, and we just have to keep fighting. But the polling says, what the numbers say right now is that is not true. So, hold on, you, Mike?
I know everybody's big on James Carville when I watched him a few times. He said, don't pay attention to all those polls, pay attention to the election results.
Yeah.
She only had 3 months.
Huh?
She only had 3 months.
Agree. She had 3 months.
Well, I was going to point out, you're talking about the polling now, but the election was, a
Yeah.
while ago. So, I mean, you're looking at 2 different snapshots. in time.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It is shifting. It is shifting slowly and steadily our way. We got to put in the time. We got to put in the time. That's the only way. And the other thing is we just got to keep working at it and vocalizing it and having the difficult conversations and reaching out. But one of the things I think is true, but that's just me, it doesn't mean anything, is that as things get more and more difficult, and they are, people will see things differently. It's not uncomfortable enough yet. It's not. It's not.
There's also a huge growing trend on social media
Yeah?
of people who are vocally willing to say, I voted for Trump and I'm beginning to regret my vote.
Yes, it is starting to happen. It is out there. People are saying it. So I just see it by how people are behaving. I see shifts in behavior.
I have a question related to upcoming elections in that people are talking about who's taking on Van Orden. Do we in any way take any kind of position on that yet?
We do not. There is a process by which we choose who we want to endorse. I think many of us in here have strong feelings about this. I think many of us do. So there is a process by which we do that, and then as a group we'll choose who we endorse. Everyone always is still free, of course, to vote their conscience and will and should, right? Should and will. But there is a process we go through because we're nonpartisan. So I will be bringing that. It'll be coming soon. After the 4th of July. Just give me 2 weeks to catch up here. Okay. What else do I want to say? Anything on any of this? Yeah, Amy?
Have you heard anything about these articles I've seen related to updates to the election machine software that may have...
I do, and
What have you heard about that? What do you think about it?
I think we can't go back and relitigate no matter what else I may believe. And I sure hope we do something different. And what I personally believe we just can't go back and relitigate, or we're doing what they're doing. Yeah. However, I do think we need to be aware and act differently in the future. I do think it was all accessed, you know, for the whole case down in Georgia. But it's like, it's the same game Trump is playing, and it just feeds into the distrust. I know.
Yeah.
So we can't.
There's a case in New York on it. And
I know the case in New York. I know of what you speak.
I don't want to relitigate the last election, but I'm concerned for the next one.
I am too. I am too. And I do think that is something we need to care about and demand better. But see, even that, demanding better election security ends up with more people being shut out. It doesn't end up in them checking the machines. Yeah. You know what I mean? Making sure that no one, you know, kind of like there was a bomb scare in every one of the big counties, you know, so they shut down. They're, you know, it's like that. The biggest problem we have is that. So we shall take it under advisement and see what we think, but I think there is a big danger in being lured down that path. You know, it's kind of like today when I was on the call with Leah and Ezra, someone brought up the SAVE Act. I do see a cat. Someone brought up the SAVE Act, and we need to let people know about this, and we need to do it. And what they said that was so good, they said, you know, it's true. The SAVE Act is bad, and we do need to worry about it, and people should. But it's not coming up for a vote right now. Right. It's not here right now. There's nothing we can do right now. The thing we can do something about is the reconciliation bill. And that's where our energy needs to be. And so they were talking about, we're always trying to strategize and use our energy where we can do the most good and make the most difference, which is why we did the thing on Friday. Like, you got to know right after No Kings, I was not thrilled about this. You got to know, you know, that this was, but I know we did, but because it mattered. And so we did, and it made a difference, and now it's showing up in things, and they're reporting it, so it was the right thing to do. So same thing with this. I think this needs to get handled, and I agree with you 100% that it's a concern. I just don't think we can do anything right now, and I don't know what we can do yet. But I task you with staying on top of it and keeping it in our faces. Okay? Will you do that? Okay, good.
Are you talking about the big, beautiful bill or whatever?
That's the reconciliation bill. She's talking about the election machines and the court case in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's on something different. Okay.
I have something related with reconciliation.
Okay. Go.
Okay, we can talk about it later, Cindy, I just don't want to forget to ask about this. So a friend of mine, just sorry, jumping back to the New York victory.
Yes.
But a friend of mine who's very involved, she's from New York, her father's a big judge in New York, and she posted, as city, New York, after the election. A friend of hers wrote and said, you obviously are not Jewish. A friend of hers, right? He's like, you're not Jewish, no Jewish community is very upset. This is not safe for us, probably a lot of people feel this way. So at some point, I'd like to discuss this, we don't have to tonight, but I don't know.
I think it's a good, you know, that
I don't know how to respond to that.
I understand. Huh.
I have friends that are Jewish. I lived in St. Louis, which has a huge Jewish community. They would never, there's people that are on both sides, but they would never vote for Trump. You know why? Because when Trump was president the last time, there was neo-Nazi people marching through their neighborhoods and desecrating their cemeteries. So there's both sides. For there's Jewish people that
I'm just
wouldn't
saying,
vote for
yeah.
Trump, and there's people that would.
Let's hold this, okay? But I agree, the whole Palestinian Jewish thing, and the whole thing, this comes back to the other conversation we're always having about othering. The danger in there is always someone to scapegoat, there is always someone to other. It might be the trans person, it's the bi person, it's the gay person, it's the Jewish person, it's the Muslim. Right now, the Iranians are being arrested because of, you know, what, it's just like, there's always a new enemy and a new target. And so I think a huge part of it is we can get into this debate, or we go back to the other, I'm saying this for everyone, or we go back to how do we bring us back together again to recognize this is our nation, this is our community, we're working together, we all live or die together. That's, so I think, yeah, and I think that, and that is even the messaging and messaging today and the whole messaging call and even the other thing. It's like, we're always, it's like they want to lead us down a hole to make us argue about some stupid point, and we're got to keep coming back to like, I get their fear. I lived when I was beaten up. I know their fear. And what are we going to do to make everybody real and human to everybody again? It's like we've got to stop the othering, which will explain the big event we're having in August, which I'm really excited to tell you all about tonight. Especially since you'll be working it.
Before I was at the Eau Claire Dem Coffee Clutch this morning, and they wanted to know if there's any protest or rally on the 4th. I said I'd ask them.
I was going to get there, but we'll do it. So one of the things with Indivisible, a lot of people started assuming we were going to do it. And they always send to me, oh, you're going to do that. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. We have a lot of, and I posted about this, and then there were a lot of reactions, but we have a lot of coalition partners, and so different people take the lead at different times. We took the lead on No Kings. We shared on Hands Off. We shared on Good Trouble Lives On. Indivisible actually asked us to step back and support a coalition partner, find an ally, a black or brown ally, and support their event. They told us not to take the lead on it. And on the 4th, the Women's March is the one doing that. And so what I say is we are not doing specifically anything on the 4th. We will announce their event so people can go if they want to rally. The other thing, we've got some other ideas of things that you can do. So I think it's important that we do something for the 4th. I do. But I don't think it's going to look like our events. Does that help?
Yeah, is it in Eau Claire or Chippewa?
Which thing?
The Women's March? Or did I misunderstand it?
Now, if there is one, it's them. See, the problem we have is that 50-51 in the Women's March, a lot of times call them, but they don't have an infrastructure. And so they don't set it up on Mobilize or do anything. So it's called, I know it's down in Madison. I know of nothing for Eau Claire. I know of nothing. But I'll keep looking. Huh? Anybody else know? Yeah. Can I? You? For us, it's resources and time and pulling people out. And I have gotten a lot of feedback from folks that they want to have family time and do that. So instead, Harper came up with an idea for something to do in our neighborhoods, which I'm going to talk about in a bit, which is for the 4th. That doesn't look like a rally or anything like that. So we're going to talk about, hey, maybe there's something else we can do that will work as well that doesn't involve us leaving our families, going out and do something. It's some work we can do the week ahead. So let's see, because it is the week ahead, isn't it? Because, that's how I always do everything. Okay, good. Sorry, that's me. Anyway, rally on the 4th. Thank you. Our vision to change the legislative balance of power in November of 2026 while working locally and regionally for systemic change, rebuilding and strengthening our community. What do we call this again? Block and build. Good. You guys got it. Block what we can, build. Block and build. Block and build. That's what we're doing, right? We never forget. We fight the reconciliation bill. Hi, Leanne. We fight. When the SAVE Act comes up, we fight that. We fight immigration. We fight all of the stuff we can fight with all the energy we got. And at the same time, we build a connection, build a connection, build a connection, right? Not only in Chippewa here, in Eau Claire, and all over the state, right? Block and build. Okay, good. Next one. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I want to do this one right now. Move on. Oh, thanks. What's that? Oh, thanks. Okay. Completed actions. I just want to say a couple things and whip through some of this. No Kings, most amazing thing happened last Sunday. We were doing the food thing at community table. There were a bunch of us that went. we're almost all done, and the person who's running it says, and we're just talking and laughing and having a good time. She goes, and I said something about, oh, what the event we'd had the week before. She goes, I was at No Kings. I'm like, what? She said, yeah, I was at No Kings. I was there. She goes, I didn't chant in front of someone's office because, you know, but so it was really awesome. So that was a really fun moment. And then I had a meeting with an attorney this week, and he said, I was at No Kings too. I'm like, really? He said, yes, I loved it. I said, did you know that we did that? He goes, well, I know now. Anyway, and so he was saying how amazing it was, and so what I'm seeing is I keep bumping into people in the community who are like, oh, hey, I saw that, I was there. Hey, did you see we lapped ourselves? Hey, did you see? People are really excited. You guys were so good. People were so good. It went so well. So thank you, everyone. In terms of building, I think it really was a building event, right? It was really a building event. We did a good job. I'm always checking us, like, is our time and energy worth it? I don't know about you, I get tired sometimes. So, like, that was worth it. That was worth it. Yeah.
Did you feel like after we were out on the corner here last week that it kind of woke some people in this area in a...
Yes, it definitely activated people, if that is your question. Yes, it activated people. Yes, it definitely activated people, and we had definitely more of those single finger salutes. We definitely did. We had more of the dusting. We did in Eau Claire as well, because it made people on the other side, who we hope they're not going to stay there, right? We're hoping they come back over to the light side. Yeah.
We also had, last night, we had police officer waving at us, we had bus drivers waving at us.
Yeah.
Pretty encouraging.
That's awesome. What else?
Cindy, I felt like here last fall, it was so much more positive.
Did you?
So many more positive calls. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. We're doing good. Yeah, we're doing good. I'm really happy with how we're doing. And yeah.
Let's talk about my daughter was in Europe during this No Kings thing,
Yeah.
and she's back home now, so I heard from her about Europe and No Kings. They're very much aware of it, and they were celebrating it too.
Yep, they were. It was out. Yep.
She said, I bet my mom was in that on that, and I said, you bet I was.
I know. If anybody has photos from Chippewa, I need a photo of Mary at the rally. Her daughter is looking for a picture of Mary. All the pictures I have, she's behind someone. Because I sent her a message and said, your mom was there. And she said, I know, I looked in all the pictures. So anybody who has Chippewa pictures, please send them to me. We're looking for Mary. Because we want to send it to her daughter in California. Okay, Juneteenth. We went to Juneteenth. We showed up there. We had a nice time. Well received, right? Rock painting. Anybody want to say anything about Juneteenth? Yeah.
I invited Burl to come and join us, and I hope he will at some point.
I hope he will. I asked him if he was going to have something on, keeping the good trouble. Good trouble. I knew I could get there. Good trouble. I asked him, I said we would be an ally, and I haven't heard anything, but I hope so. Save Our Hospitals, that was the thing on Friday. Community table, we did that. Save Ourselves, they're going to have a new thing for the people for the Monday group. So pay attention to that. There's going to be a new listing going up. The AI workshop went well, and I hope you're staying caught up on your calls and actions. Right? How's that? Is that enough? Anybody want to say anything about that?
Can I jump in from Save Our Services?
We're not there yet. That's Save Ourselves.
Well, I know, but Save Our Services wanted to do has something we need to do.
I know, we're going to get there.
Okay.
We're not there yet. Okay. Is this the postcard thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing. For those of you that don't understand the reconciliation bill, the Byrd rule right now is throwing out a bunch of stuff. You know that. You know what the Byrd rule is? So when they put up the reconciliation bill, the Republicans, and I guess the Democrats when they're in power too, shove everything they can in there. But when you're doing a reconciliation bill, the rule is it can only be stuff that affects the budget. So as soon as they get all their proposals in there, the parliamentarian goes through it and pulls out all the stuff that isn't there. So the sale of public lands is out. Yes. Now, what's the other thing? They've taken out a bunch of things that were like, oh, the thing like he can't be prosecuted. And there's a bunch of stuff that's, the Byrd rule, she's pulled a lot of it out. The challenge is The challenge is that the Senate, because the Senate agrees on the rules, can go to the Rules Committee and just change it and say they're not going to listen to her. So that is still a possibility, and they have the majority, and they might do that. They are saying they might not listen to the parliamentarian. So you just need to know, for right now, some of this stuff is out. It may come back in. I was going to, Go ahead.
He just announced that she pulled out the whole Medicaid.
Not all of it. They pulled out the things related to non-citizens receiving benefits. That's the only part that got pulled out with the Berg rule.
And Jen says online they took the no gender affirming care out of the bill.
Good. Anything else? Good job, Jen. I know I can count on you guys to keep tabs on things. See, this is why we have separate areas, so you guys pay attention to your area, because we can't watch everything. Okay, good. All right, so blah, blah, blah. Okay, upcoming actions. Agnes's table is July 1st. If anyone wants to serve and do that, it's from 3 to 7:30. We need 7 to 10 people. We do actually have enough people, and we do actually have enough money, but it's a lot of fun. And if you want to go for the last one, we had, we needed a couple people at the last minute. So it's just, where's Agnes's table here in town? Where is it?
Isn't it at the church?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Methodist church?
Yep.
I used to know it when it was someplace else. So yeah, that's fine. So anybody who's wanting to do that July 1st, it's awesome. Nobody wants to do it around the 4th of July. It's hot and everything. So if anybody wants to, it's a fun thing.
Tuesday night.
Huh? Tuesday
night.
Is it? Is July 1st Tuesday?
Yep.
It is.
I'm pretty sure that date is right.
Yeah, it is.
You guys know always double check me, right? You know that. Okay, t-shirts. The t-shirts that were ordered, some of you still haven't picked them up. You need to pick them up. We ordered extra in the next round, so if people want some, they have extra sizes. Let Wendy know, Wendy Sheesby, let her know. live2twirl@gmail.com. Let her know that you want one, and then you guys just pay through whatever. There's no meeting on July 3rd for obvious reasons, because none of you will be here. And I don't want to sit in this room by myself. Which brings us to the whole schedule challenge. The following week, we would normally meet then on the 10th, but it's booked on the 10th. Shall we meet on the 8th? Because the next one after that would be the 17th. If we don't do that, our next meeting is the 17th, which seems like a long way. Is it to you or not really? 8th? Okay, so we're going to put the 8th on. Please, check in on Mobilize so I know you guys are coming. Okay.
So no protest next week either, or rally?
I'm going to bet money there are people who are going to be there. So what I'm going to say is what I always say, which is I let you off the hook next to a holiday, right? Huh? But I don't officially cancel it because people are still going to show up. They will, because they don't come to the meeting, they don't read the newsletters, they come and yell at me, why don't you tell me? So people will still show up. So what I will say is you have permission not to show. You have permission not to show, and I do still think it will happen in both places. Don't you think so, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah, see? There you go. Of course. Okay. So the other thing, the rule of law, we're trying to do to distribute the copies of the Constitution with a little a little insert that says what the president cannot do according to the Constitution. We wanted to be at the park in Chippewa, but they are not at events where there is music. They're actually having no political anything, which again I actually think is maybe a plus. Because they're trying to just knit us back together. So if you can think of someplace else for them to do that on the 4th, if there's any event, is there an event in Carson Park? Anybody know of any place where rule of law folks could hand out?
The Express always play on the 4th.
Who?
The Express, the baseball team.
Thank you. The baseball team always plays on the 4th, so there's a good spot.
There's usually fireworks at Carson Park on the 4th.
Fireworks?
And in Menominee at, Sherwood Park, that is, it's called Freedom Fest.
Okay.
I did call Altoona
Yeah?
because they have a festival in their park, but haven't heard back from them.
Okay. All right. The other thing, Harper came up with an idea that I really like. I don't know if there's enough time to pull it off. It's a neighborhood kind of thing. And my sister Sandy had the same idea, which is like, how do we let each other know we're safe spaces? How do we, our neighbors who may be wanting to know you're a safe space, how do they know? Sandy wanted to put something on the car, right? And what Harper, go to the, is it on the next one? Yeah, that's it. So what Harper came up with is putting a sign in your yard for the 4th of July with a flag on it that just says something about, don't let our forefathers' efforts be in vain. We believe in the sanctity of the Bill of Rights. We believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all. So a positive statement for the 4th of July. So what I was going to do is put out a PDF that you guys could then print, put on signs, and put up. And is that a great idea? Yeah. Yep. So there's a way, we can make them bigger, we can make them smaller, we can do some other stuff. How many people would be interested in doing that? And the goal is just walk around your neighborhood and say, hey, can I put this up for the 4th of July? And ask other people, or you guys put them up? You guys interested? Okay. Then I will put it on so you guys can download and print. The other thing I will say is if you guys are wanting to download, or if you're wanting to print oversize, FedEx Kinko's, you can print an 18 by 24. You guys know the whole brigade signs, right? How big those were, 18 by 24. They're just glued on another yard sign. It's $2.83 at FedEx Kinko's for that size. Now you have to print it in black and white, so you have to put your own color in there, right? You have to put your own color, but it's not hard. You've just got, red and blue there. So if you want to do that, I can also give it to you. So, and it's in FedEx Kinko's, it's called the Architectural and Engineering Drawing. So you go there, and 18 by 24 is $2.83, which I think is nothing. I was so hoping Dakota would be here because he makes great signs, but that's a whole nother story. So, okay, I'm going to set this up so we can do it. And then I was hoping maybe on Labor Day we could bring it back around when we have more time and like really get it out there. I started calling around to order signs, like how much is it for the thousands of little ones. So, but for starters, I think we just start with ourselves, start getting them up and start making them be out there and then have them available for other folks. So we'll work on this idea, right? Mm-hmm. So if someone else wants to take that on and help, let me know. Yeah? Yeah?
And I would love to have one of those to put out in my yard, because we're gonna ride by my house and all those people are.
Like these?
Yeah.
For July 12th?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are more expensive. Those are like $100. Those are like, but I mean, like for $283, we could put some, and then even if we do color, if we do a color print, they're only $5.95. So if you're willing to pay $6 for a sign, and then I just use sticky them out and stick it on something else, huh? You'll do it? Okay, so then I'm going to make the,
We're riding by my driveway.
okay, then I'm going to make the PDF available with instructions so that you can have it 8.5, 11, 11/17, or 18 by 24, and you can just glue it on whatever. Okay? All right. Tell your friends about it, print a lot, let's start this movement going so that maybe by the 12th and then by Labor Day, we have whole neighborhoods covered with them. Let us see this as, yeah, that you'll just send it in. You don't even have to take it in, you just email them and they'll print it and you go pick it up. Oh yeah, that's what I did with, that's what I did with the brigade signs. I just made the brigade signs, sent them in, they said they'll be done at 2 o'clock. Yeah, yeah.
One sign at 18 by 24, and then you have the flag to be 18 by 24. Now you have double the size. The print will be bigger, so it's readable as people drive by.
Yeah, the print will be bigger. It was just an idea.
Right, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
When people print that, they should print it in 2 parts. Print one.
Well, on the 18, oh, I see what you're saying. I'm printing the 18 by 24 at FedEx. You're printing it at home.
No, I'm saying FedEx too, right? So
Yeah, I'm just saying that was just an idea. Don't, yeah.
it's a great idea. I'm just saying for people that are going to do it,
Yeah.
a better thought is the great benefit
But-
to 2 different images. The text only as 18 by 24, so the text is bigger on that page, so it's readable for a further distance.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too
Yeah.
often the text is too small for driving.
I know. I am clear.
We need the word sanctity.
Do we? I knew this was going to turn into a debate about it because then I was going to be like, there's a way to language it more positively, blah, blah, blah. Do we need sanctity? Do we need, no. Yeah? if you have a better suggestion, send it. Yes, Brody?
I will say, package of red, white, and blue and yellow, like car markers for your windows, that only costs like $10 at AutoZone, and I've written a lot of stuff in my windows
Yeah.
the past month. And they're super good, right? They're super
Yep.
good, waterproof, they'll stay on, it's rained over here, what, a couple times?
Yep.
A few weeks.
You know, here's the thing that I think, we got to change messaging a lot all the time anyway, so we might as well all start getting used to, and I just reuse the signs, spray mount them and stick them on the new, just keep popping them on there. Yeah? Okay. All right. So we will get that going. Blah, 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 blah. So, and again, this is just to try, and this is bridging the divide again, of trying to have people see us as not the other, but just like we're all in the same country together, we all stand for the same thing, the rights for everybody, right? Okay, so we'll work on this and get it going. It was just, the time was tight to do it by the 4th. Okay, EC and Chippewa Falls rallies, we already hit them because you guys do that. I'm coming back to this one. So next week, not necessary, to be there. Attendance has been light the last couple, but I think a lot of it is no Kings and summer. Summer's weird anyway. I was complaining to someone else that, the rally numbers are falling off, and they're like, summer is always weird. Summer's just weird. People have stuff to do. So we just have to kind of hang in there. The other thing I was going to say in the polling, one of the things they did is like, do protests make a difference? And it's moved almost 10 points more in our direction in the last month. Yeah. For both Democrats and independents, and even Republicans have shifted. It's narrowed for them. And the reason is people say it makes them realize that they aren't the only one that doesn't have that opinion, that they're not alone, and it gives them courage to be out there. So just so you know, we have shifted almost 10 points in a month. We're protests, because we always ask ourselves, is it making a difference? It's making a difference. Yeah, Bill?
With us only having 28 there last night in the rain, which is by far the least amount of people we had, we still had the same amount of honking going there.
Yep.
Our presence is what's important.
Yep. Yep. So, are we going to keep doing it? Yeah. Are we tired? Yeah. We are. Are we going to keep doing it? Yep. There are 2 open seats on the County Board of Supervisors that no one is running. We need somebody for County Board of Supervisors in Chippewa for District 5, which is up around Tilden, and another one for 7, which is over by the south side, over there by Jay and going down over there. So if you have any interest in doing that, Jason Bergeron will work with you about it. This is, getting involved in local politics is really important for starting to shift the dialogue and getting what we want out there so people are doing, supporting positive things that aren't punitive. So if this is something you want to do or know someone who does, if you have some ideas of who might like to, let us know, yeah?
Are those 2 positions, one for the county board and the other one's for city council?
I don't know, could be. Do you know more than I do?
Well, we were talking about it last night.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
Jason sent it to
after-
me, and he said county board on both of them, but his email might have been
I
wrong.
think there's one on city council.
Okay, city council on one and county board of supervisors on the other. But if anyone knows anyone who will run, that would be awesome. Yep. Okay. You guys keep sending me photos and videos. More importantly, post them on social media with the tag Chippewa Valley Indivisible, and then all the things we want, like save our hospitals and all that kind of stuff, right? Right? Okay. The community event we planned for August 23rd. We had a meeting on it this week, and here's what we came up with, and I hope you like it. So we made a rough of the poster. Can you go down? August 23rd, we're going to have it right out here in Riverfront Park. This is a build event. And this is, we're going to call it Hometown Heroes of the Chippewa Valley. So it's going to be for the traditional heroes, firefighters, police officers, all those kind of folks, and teachers and doctors and nurses, and shop owners, and shop workers, and mothers, and child care workers, and volunteers, and parks and rec workers. You name it, they all get to be it. And we're going to have a 2-month social media campaign where every day we're putting out their Hometown Heroes of the Chippewa Valley. Today we celebrate nurses. Today we celebrate. So we'll take any suggestion of who you have that does this kind of thing. that you want to honor, but we're going to keep calling them out. We're actually calling it the first annual. So we want to do it every year. We want to do it in Eau Claire maybe a month later if we live through this one. If we live through this one, then we want it, because to kind of keep building, we got to keep building, keep building. It's at Riverfront Park. Children and families are welcome. In fact, we want them by the dozens. Oh, and the Appreciation Outreach Group, they're going to go invite people at the county office, at all the places we've been checking where people are working, and we wanted to take things to say thank you. We're going to say, come on, we're going to celebrate you, and come on in, invite them. So they're going to go out and invite people.
What day of the week is that and what time?
Oh, it's Saturday, August 23rd from 3 to 9 p.m.
Is there a group that meets to help organize that?
Hold. Hold. Okay. So in addition, we have music and dancing already lined up. Someone whose family does that, they're donating. We have food trucks lined up. For kids events, we're going to have things like face painting, rock painting, chalk, sidewalk chalk. And we're going to have a parade where we're going to ask them to dress up like their hero, and we're going to parade them around Riverfront Park with somebody playing like a drum leading them, and somebody with a trombone or a trumpet or something behind them. And we're going to call this the Parade of the Future Heroes of the Chippewa Valley. Mm-hmm. And we're going to record everything, blah, blah, blah. And we decided it would be fun. So this is just the ideas getting started. So we decided it would be fun if the dessert was on us. So we're either going to get a soft serve thing, because you can make those fast, right? Initially we were thinking ice cream, because I had it in my head, oh, wouldn't an ice cream social be fun? I'm like, ooh, who wants to scoop all those suckers, you know? And I'm like, oh, we need soft serve, fast, fast, fast. And then if we can't get a soft serve machine, then we're going to get one of those little things that you roll and bike and has like bells on the side. And we're going to put things like Wonder Bars in there or popsicles or stuff like that and just go around and give them out. Yeah.
Sometimes Culvers, if you ask them, will come and bring their own people.
Will they?
Yeah.
We might ask them.
Also,
I'll put Can on that, huh?
There's a guy in Eau Claire that rides a bike with ice cream that sells it. If we pay for the stuff, he
Awesome.
might come and deliver.
Give us the lead.
And there's Olson's Ice Cream does set up stuff, and Ramon's Ice Cream does set up
We have thought of that, but for me, I'm trying to control the cost because we're paying for this piece, you know? Like the food trucks. Right now, the food trucks we have committed are the egg roll guy, the taco guy, we've got a pizza lined up, and then coffee and desserts and stuff from 4:30 a.m. So we're looking to local people as much as possible, but this is our community building event to have everyone come in and just be together. Someone said, are you saying, you know, it's apolitical, so no like political t-shirts or hats? And I'm like, I don't know, you know, and so I haven't really thought about it, because I want to put the name of our group, because we're doing it on the side of the ice cream truck. So I don't know. I go back and forth. We aren't quite that solid yet. We have locked the park. We do have the park. We do have insurance. Like I said, we got the music, we got the lights, we got the. So. And it's only because we thought we were going to do it last couple weeks ago that we have many of the things in place. Yes?
Yeah. I mean, make it non-political and brand it with our name, because we are non-political.
I know, we are nonpartisan.
We can still put the name and keep
Yep.
politics out of it.
Because someone said, well, what happens if some kids show up in the parade with their hero with Trump hats? And what I said is, swallow it and let them walk.
Yeah.
Swallow it and let them walk. How are we going to get them over and have them see us as human if we boot their kids out because they want to wear a Trump hat? Right? Hopefully, it won't be that way in a few years. Yeah.
We need to include judges in the heroes. And Judge Dugan has her trial coming up sometime in July. Remember, we were going to have that protest at the Oakland County Courthouse. That was this big storm that day when I got all the hail damage on my truck. So we're going to have another protest the day of her trial at the Oakland County Courthouse.
Can you let me know early?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can get it on there. What is the date? Check it. Do me a favor. Check it and let me know.
Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay. So like I said, this is still in the planning stages. Clearly, some more of you want to get involved. I'll let you know how to do that. I think it's going to be a great event. I think it's going to be a really fun event. And again, what we're trying to do is let everybody see, like, we live and die together, right? We're all in this together. So this is our build event. And I would love to do one in Eau Claire. So we'll see if we can, we'll see if we can make it. Okay, next one. Oh, huh? What'd you say?
Maybe Derek Van Orton would even show up.
You know what? My friend in Tennessee, I got to tell you, I told some of the other folks, my friend in Tennessee, we were having the one that wants to move to Norway, we were having a conversation today, and she said, oh, what are you up to? And I told her about this thing. She's like, oh my God, I love that. I'm stealing it. We're going to do it down here. And I'm like, awesome. And she said, well, you know what I did? And I said, no. And so then she told me, and then I'm like, maybe we have to do this. Okay, get ready. Because it made my eyes bug a little too. It did. How about if we reach out to the Republican Party and go out and ask them to join with us and the Democratic Party on things like garbage cleanup or some sort of public event together, and everybody can wear their shirts. We love it. Wear your Dem shirt, wear your Republican shirt, wear your Chippewa Valley Indivisible. We don't care. We want people to see us all working together. And after she said it, I said, oh my God, I never even thought of doing anything like that. And then my eyes kind of bugged because I thought what I might have to do. But I thought, somebody's got to do it. So what do you guys think?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah,
Because it seems like this could be really nice if we moved it to Urban Park where they have the main pavilion and greening, we wouldn't have to worry about that.
I don't think we can do it as easily, and with parking and stuff, this is easier for us. I guess we could set up a rain date.
Those are all rented out though.
I know, it's harder to get those. This is easier to get.
Also visibility.
Yeah, visibility is always one of my things, you know. Yeah. I'll check on it, Carl. Okay, anybody else on that? Yes, Mike.
Juneteenth had both tables, both parties had tables there, and it worked well.
I know, I think it's a good idea. When she said that, it was not anything I had even thought of. But I thought, yeah, why not? And when she said, I even said to him, go ahead, you guys can wear your Republican t-shirts. We'll wear ours. It's all, because she's actually with the Democratic Party, and that's in Tennessee. But she's like, go for it. And I thought, wouldn't that be great for them to see that politics is just one aspect of our community, that we all want to work together. And I would love to see this move out. So anyway, that might happen. Okay, anything else in old or new business?
Did you say you might go to the fair, or you haven't decided to?
I was waiting to find out how much money a table is. Some people have said we should do it, but you know.
Does anybody know how much it is to get a table at the fair? It'd be great to give out different information, or t-shirts and.
Well, it depends on how much it costs. Depends on how much it costs. So.
People to sit there all those days.
Yeah.
And it just seems like people just aren't that interested when you walk through the fair. If they're interested, they'll go to your table. If they're not, they walk right by.
Yeah.
Cool stuff to give out.
Right.
Yeah, which again is more money.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Healthcare Action Group. You guys got it. And here's where we go. What time is it? How am I doing for time? Perfect.
6:22.
Anybody want another piece of pizza? Grab it quick. Normally now I break you into groups, but what I was going to do then is just have quick updates from each group for a minute. So I'm not going to break you into groups tonight. I'm just going to give each group a chance to do a quick update about something they need or want, and then I'm going to cut you loose. You can still meet if you want after. Healthcare, got anything? Neighbors helping neighbors, I already did theirs. If any, you know, the Agnes's table thing. And then of course they're throwing in heavy on this thing as well. Protecting equity. Jen, you got anything, or anybody else?
Jen said that she has no new updates. Had a busy week with Pride and Juneteenth. They will regroup and decide on new actions soon.
Awesome. What?
I will ask Al, and I'll get back to you.
Sounds good. And you're leave. I know you have to leave.
Did you see that they closed on St. Joseph's Hospital today?
Did they? I heard they did, but I saw that, and they said whether or not and how it happens will depend on the budget.
Yeah, no, they're closing on it, and they're gonna open as soon as August.
That's what they say. Yep. But they said the reconciliation bill will really impact what they can do.
Well, I talked to Bob Krause yesterday, and he said he's not too worried about that.
I know, but I like the news story better. I'm going with the news story, and I believe that, and that's great. I'm just glad we're getting out there and saying stuff. Okay, Save Our Services, what have you got?
Okay, I'm here on that team, and we discussed this earlier about in the budget bill, that they were trying to sneak through the over 2 million acres of land being sold, but the parliamentarian has pulled that provision out for now. But Mike Lee, the senator of Utah, is pushing that, and I found out that the reason he's pushing it is because the legislators there cannot work, and they purchase the land and they sell it, and that's where they make their money. That's where they get their big bucks. So they want to sell their land off, the legislators do. So even though the provision is out, we still got these cars. Joel Mayberry went to Canoepalooza or something like Canoecopia down in Madison this past weekend and met up with some fellow that was giving away these cards for us to send. Unfortunately, they're all addressed to Tammy Baldwin. I'd really like to see some going to Ron Johnson myself, you know, but they're all pre-addressed. All you have to do is sign your name and address on it, and if you put a personal note on it, it gets more attention, as we learned from Mark Cocan. A personal note, like for my family, my husband just said, you know, stand strong, and I said thank you for all you've been doing for us. Just a sentence or two to bring attention to your card would be helpful. So I have like 21 cards if anybody's interested. I also brought stamps if the stamps are an issue. Joel's were pre-stamped, but because the guy sent them to me, he sent them to FedEx and I picked them up from FedEx. Mine weren't stamped. So, but I went out and bought stamps, and if you need a stamp, I'll help you with that.
I have a blue there too, that I've stamped and ready to go.
And so if you want to just grab some, if you need them, it's easier to grab them now than go chase these two down later. So.
And it's best if you get them in the mail. They told us they wanted them to be in the mail by today, but I'm feeling like even if we got them in the mail tomorrow or the next day, it's going to be equally as impactful.
And the other thing, Cindy, that I think I read, and I could be wrong, but that Mike Lee is trying to revise that bill so that it would fit in.
Yes.
They are. Oh yeah, they absolutely are. Oh, they absolutely are. Yeah, and I you know, like I'm distressed because I think it's going to pass, so it's very hard. Why do we keep fighting then? Because that might be the question you ask. Well, if we really think it's probably going to pass, we can keep fighting and delaying. We can, and we will. But if it really does pass, why do we do this? And it's like to damage them for the next election. To damage them for the next election. We've got to hang this on their neck when it's ugly, because it's going to be ugly. So that is why we keep fighting, okay? Okay? Because sometimes people are like, well, if we're going to lose it anyway, who cares?
Their names will be on record.
I know. I'm with you. But that's why we do it, and why we keep fighting the good fight. Okay. Rule of law, you got anything you want to say?
We continue to work on a rapid response plan.
Are you guys listening? Go ahead. You stand up. They're not
We continue to work on a rapid response plan in coordination with ACLU and Jonah. Our next meeting is Monday morning at the Public Library in Eau Claire. If anyone else wants to join, you're more than welcome, 10 a.m. We have the Constitution booklets. We're looking for a place to distribute those, hopefully on July 4th, if it fits well with the holiday. And as Bill mentioned, we're planning to do some sort of rally or demonstration when Judge Dugan has her court date. Lastly, I think towards the end of July, isn't there a Citizens United rally planned nationwide? Or in DC at least. So we were thinking also of coordinating something with that, but that's still tentative.
What day is that?
I think that's July 27th.
And just one addition is that I have 5 attorneys who are interested in working on the immigration issues. And we haven't even sent out the email yet to the Chippewa County and Eau Claire County bars. And I know we'll get some volunteers there. And I also want to get the state bar involved so we have a statewide network. So if somebody's picked up here and they're taking, say, to Dodgeville, so we have a connection down there.
Great.
One other quick thing, if I could just mention, I found on Facebook this week, and I'm completely surprised by it, but there is an active alert system for when you see ICE. It's called stopice.net.
Yep.
I mean, not that necessarily we're gonna go out chasing, but I think it's good to know the availability of this website. So if you see ice in your community, you can put an alert out. You also can sign up to get alerts when others report ice in your community. So it's stopice.net. So they've got a map and everything. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
So.
Awesome. Learning Bridge, you got anything you want to say?
We had our social media posts given to the library. If you're on Facebook, please like the posts, share them back out again, follow your library pages as well. And then we have connected about the blog article writing process. We're going to be working on that now that we've gotten past the big rally.
Yep. And we already got we got the URL, got the web space. We're getting ready to put that up. So it exists separate from us. It has its own entity. Okay, Shining the Light, you got anything?
We have the AI training, or AI for activists last night. For those who are interested, we can send you a link that you can share with the recording. Then we're up to 38 letters published now. And as always, I'm calling to people, if you have a story, want to talk about a problem, come to us, we'll help you write.
Awesome, thank you.
And related to that, we sent over a list of specific topics for the bombing in Iran. And so if you connect with the letters to the editor group, they can share some different topics for you to write about.
Awesome. Truth in the Economy, I'm working on your brochure. Hold on one second. Yeah, Mike?
Something that would bridge the bridge and shining the light. Sue Edstrom had a letter to the editor in the Bloomer Advance that talked about the money that's taken through vouchers from the public schools to the private schools.
Fabulous.
So if you see the Bloomer Advance, take a look at that.
Awesome. Okay, Brody.
I guess a question for all of y'all. Are there any business owners in here? Small business at all?
Yeah.
Anyone? Got one over there, right? Does anyone know any small business owners? You're one, right? Cindy and I, as well as our Truth group, have developed a brochure to give out to businesses and, wherever else these brochures might end up, it's like little posters or whatever, right? To kind of advertise invisible, right? So that, going onto the cash register, you have a little brochure right there, trifold, you can open it up. All sorts of cool things on there, right? I'd have to go and look at the template that I gave Cindy for these specifics. But if y'all know anybody, right, or you yourself want to stack these things to give out to people, right, let me know.
Terrific. Okay, Save Ourselves, you got anything, Mary, and Mike, and anything for your group?
Basically, just we're going to keep on going at the Triple Library, and we have every Monday scheduled through August 25th, and we are not going to meet the Monday after 4th of July because we thought people might not be there, so I think that's July 7th. But otherwise, every Monday at 5:30, everybody's welcome. We do meditation, we do laughter yoga. We talk about the next topic is going to be how to have a difficult conversation with somebody who doesn't agree and stay calm and centered. So that's what we do. Everybody's invited.
Got it? Difficult conversations. Appreciation outreach. We know you're doing what you guys are going out and doing. Anybody else got anything you want to say? Yes?
I just wanted to mention, since we're at war with Iran or whatever like my coworker is in the National Guard from Wisconsin. Wisconsin sent 600 people in their National Guard to the Middle East this last year. I don't know if you guys know that. So like 2 people my brother works with and a young kid that I work with, 22 years old. And he was in Kuwait and now they've moved him and we don't know where he is.
Oh, okay.
So just know that might be something going forward to
Right about.
remember the families. And there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of concerns about what Trump's doing from this area.
Yeah.
Some more heroes to invite.
Yeah.
Yeah, they trained, at the armory in Menominee, so they're all from around here. It's
Mm-hmm.
from this part of Wisconsin.
Deb, were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say that we should invite them to the
Yep,
hometown heroes.
for sure.
Military
Mm-hmm.
Their families.
veterans.
Yeah, veterans, yep. Sounds like fun. Okay, at this point you can break up into your groups if you'd like, or grab some more pizza and take it home, because I'm not taking it home. And anybody who has questions or anything we need to talk about, stick around and talk to me. Other than that, we'll see you on the 8th, Tuesday the 8th at 5:30. Okay? Thank you all for being here.